Hey guys, Scott here for Wrestling Inc. And today we have a great guest heading into Ring of Honor, beginning to producing shows again after so much time since March. So we thought, what better way to usher in this new era of Ring of Honor than bring in one of the future of Honor stars. So Sledge, how you doing today?
What's going on, man? How are you? I'm good, man. I can't complain. Life's
All right.
great.
Yeah, awesome.
Like,
So I wanted to show for this occasion that I'm actually wearing a Motley Crue shirt
yeah,
from their
man.
so-called farewell tour. But
Have you seen The Dirt on Netflix?
yes,
Oh,
such a great
so good.
production. I wasn't sure what to think of it though when I first heard about it. I was like, "Oh no, what are they going to do?" But it was actually really well done, I thought.
I think it's like one of my favorite like movies.
Yeah.
Seriously, to date.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. And that one and like the David Arquette movie that just came out, I'm just like I'm all over it. Yeah.
So, for me growing up with ECW, that kind of helped kind of nurture my interest in rock music in general. How did you kind of discover it growing up, you think?
My sister. My sister, man, I was a huge like rap fan like growing up. Like it was crazy. I was into like Puff Daddy and like Mace and all this stuff. Like the Metalhead Maniac did not even exist until I heard like Anthrax Stomp 442 and I'm just like, what is this? Going by my sister, and, she's playing Hendrix and she's playing like Metallica and Maiden and stuff. I'm just like, whoa, and then I'm starting to like play around with drums in school and then it just kind of snowballed from there into me loving metal music and 80s hair metal and all that fun stuff. So,
When you think of wrestling, who do you think has the best metal entrance music?
oh man, that's a good one. That's a great question, actually. Um, I mean, you can't go wrong, especially when you said like ECW. You can't go wrong with like Sandman coming in to enter the Sandman and like him smashing the beer cans on his head, and you can't go wrong with that one. So, but I really liked CM Punk's music going into when he debuted into WWE was Kill Switch Engage, which I
Crystal
love.
Gage, yeah,
Yeah,
very
loved it.
underrated theme.
You
Yeah.
know, and then going from that into In Living Color, Cult of Personality, which was absolutely insane as well that he used in Ring of Honor. So that was really really cool too. So.
So, how would you say music and wrestling for you go hand in hand as far as, I mean, you're so passionate about both. I mean, I'm sure when you're kind of thinking about personas and things like that and just creating an atmosphere, because you mentioned the Sandman, kind of how do you feel like both go hand in hand as far as making, and then also inspiration for you as far as when you're creating your persona now as you're kind of just starting out in the business?
Well, I've actually been in the business for I think I just passed my 9 years being
Oh, well, I
yeah.
mean, as far as being like featured, I think
Yeah, on
heavily
Ring of
then.
Honor,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
sorry about that.
Oh, no, no,
Yeah,
no.
I
You're
should
good.
have.
You're good. You're good. This is like, it's funny because like they're introducing me to the Ring of Honor fan base now, and some of the fan base here in California know who I am already. But hello, Ring of Honor fan base. I think it goes hand in hand. I mean, entrance music is kind of everything to a point. That's what lets people know like who you are and like what you're all about. And when I was coming up with the persona Sledge, is I actually played in a metal band before I got into wrestling, and I played drums in a metal band. They used to call me the Hammer, and I'm like, man, like I don't want to lose the Hammer because so I just turned Hammer into Sledge, and I was like, Sledge just sounds so like by itself. So it needs like something that kind of like a branding, something to come up. And then like the Metalhead Maniac is what kind of came onto Persona. But to answer your question, music and wrestling go hand in hand. I mean, some of the best, professional wrestlers have some of the best entrance music there is. And then, especially with like what WWE is doing, like with NXT, and they're like more of like the metal group of what like WWE is having like a lot of like the newer like Lizzie Hale come on, and then like having what is her name who plays in Alice Cooper, the guitar player, them coming on, and then WrestleManias they would always have like Limp Bizkit or Saliva or anybody like that play. So I think it hand in hand,
Okay.
100%. And my new entrance music that is going to be featured, me using in Ring of Honor, is specially made for me and is produced just for me as well. So
Wow.
not going to have any generic metal music. It's going to be stuff that has been written for me. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
So now Ring of Honor is beginning, the last heading into new taping or they finished their taping of episodes. Tell me what the last couple of months have been like for you. I mean, now what's great I think about you is we see in the background what you're doing, your
A
branding right
coffee
there.
shop. Yeah.
Wrestling, the coffee shop. So wrestling's so much about branding, and you've kind of been able to kind of still put yourself out there through social media, motivational speaking, and having great guests on your coffee show, Coffee Talk.
Coffee with Sledge, my
Coffee
friend.
with Sledge. So let's get the name right. Coffee with Sledge.
Okay.
But so how important was that as far as the last couple of months and kind of keeping you motivated and tell me about, because it's so hard when you're kind of staying at home and you're so used to the schedule of being on the road, and you mentioned being in the business for 9 years. This is such an adjustment for everyone that lives this kind of lifestyle that you have. Just kind of describe what the last couple of months have been like and kind of making the adjustments and kind of
I
keeping
th-
yourself out there.
I think it's been a blessing in disguise, honestly. I mean, and that sounds really bad with like the way that the world is going and the way that the world has been in this pandemic that we are at. But Sinclair Broadcasting, Ring of Honor has taken care of me nonefold. I was very fortunate, very, very, thank you, God. I signed my deal right when this pandemic happened. So like when I went to the dojo, I wasn't on any kind of, deal or anything like that. It was more of like a handshake agreement. Work your butt off and we'll see what happens. And I just signed my deal when this happened, and I took it as an opportunity to reset mentally, physically, emotionally, and really take this time to because they sent out an email saying, guys, like we need content now. Like we're not on the road, we're not doing anything. So this they're like, here's your canvas, paint it. And I was all like, yo, you tell me to paint a canvas, I'm gonna paint a canvas. So I got on the phone, with management, like right when this happened, was like, hey, I have these ideas. I want to do this. What do you guys think? And they're like, go for it. Green light, all of it. And then the coffee with Sledge just kind of fell out of nowhere, honestly. It just kind of was something where it was like I was doing motivational speaking because I'm a recovering addict and I battle depression as well. Just kind of let people know that, like, hey, you're not alone. And especially in these downtimes of the pandemic that we're in, the suicide rate is higher than it's ever been because people are so down in the dumps with everything that's been going on in the world. And I was letting them know, only on Instagram Live at Sledge805, that you guys, you don't need to go down that road. You guys can do anything you guys want. It's just you need to put in the hard work and the mindset of like, hey, if you want to change your diet or you want to change the way that you're living, this is the perfect time because it's pretty much giving you kind of a reset button like it did me. And I had a buddy who is on Twitch and he goes, hey man, like you're doing this stuff on like Instagram Live. Why don't you just do it on Twitch? And I'm like, I don't know how to do that any way, shape, and form. I'm not computer savvy. I barely, if you guys see my social media, like I can barely spell as it is, I'm an athlete, not a mathlete, straight out, and I got a producer. I found a producer in my buddy's chat room, and we started talking, and he helps me produce the show, and he helps me take care of a lot of the stuff. And honestly, Coffee with Sledge wouldn't be able to work if it wasn't for him. So that's kind of how that whole thing happened. And like I said before, like hats off to Ring of Honor for green lighting me, like all of my projects and all of my mind thinking and just being able to tell my story because they've been debuting my, and I don't mean to keep rambling. I do this sometimes. I apologize. I've been able to tell my story through vignettes before I officially debut. And they played the first one. I know they're getting ready possibly to play the second one coming in that's already been filmed, and we're getting ready to film the third one in the next couple weeks. And then from what I understand, that's when we're going full force with me. So
Awesome.
I took it as a blessing in disguise. Like, hey, I changed the way I ate. I changed the way I did things. I'm down like 30 pounds. I'm in like the best shape I've ever been in. Like I took it as, it's time to, rebuild. And that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, and I mean, I think what's great, you mentioned the last couple of months, people have been creating this as an opportunity to use their social media platforms and technology, and Ring of Honor has really embraced that. And I think one of the cool things about Ring of Honor, maybe something that they've seen is like these vignettes are getting the people to know these people, guys like yourself before they come out to a match. And that is so important, I think, nowadays, especially to get fans behind or building a connection. So now people know your story. So when you're coming out, they're going to be like, oh yeah, this is the guy, who overcame so much and overcame adversity. And then, I want to be a fan of him because of it.
Well, it's like one of those things, man, where it's just like, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And that's
Yeah.
kind of the way I like look at it is I was depressed. I was homeless. I didn't have anything to my name. Like I didn't have food on my table. I battled alcoholism. I battled, pain pills. And if I could pull myself out of that now going on 6 years clean and sober and literally living my dream, because I'm living my dream. I'm a full-fledged, like, I don't want to say a comeback story would be kind of the best way to say it is if I can do it, anybody can do it. And that's one of those things where like I just want to motivate people to understand that. And yes, I get in the ring and I destroy people and I kick people in the head and do all that, gnarly stuff. And I'm not afraid to get into a fight any way, shape, or form in the ring. Anybody wants to meet me in the ring, it's on like Donkey Kong. Don't take my nice persona and change that into, me being soft in the ring, because that's not where that goes any way, shape, and form. I just, we just want to let people know that, hey, you could change your life just as well as I did. It's a mindset. It really is.
What would you say, you touched on it the 6 years ago. What was your rock bottom? What was the kind of turnaround point for you?
Losing everything. Honestly, man, losing, at the time I was married. I lost my, my ex-wife, my kids didn't want to be around me. I was down a bad, dark road, man. And like one of my best friends pulled me out. He really did. He told me, you need help. I hurt my back very early into my wrestling career. I have the two discs in my back, my L4 and my L5. It was from a drunken night. It was from a party night. And I fell on a beer can that was standing straight up, went straight in my back and bent me over and destroyed two discs in my lower back. And I decided to wrestle 3 times the next day, which wasn't the best
Not
thing.
a good idea. Yeah.
Not the best thing in the world. And then I decided to, about a week later, I lost full feeling in my left leg. And then I got kind of addicted to pain pills after that, and realizing that all I needed to do was like just rehab really, really well, and my best friend, man, JD Horror, man, Jason Turner, I'll put him over Nunfall, man. We have the tattoo on our chest together. That guy saved my life. He really did. And I wouldn't be in the position I'm in right now if it wasn't for him.
Wow.
So.
It's nice to have like those inspirational stories. You hear about DDP and helping so many within the wrestling industry. But, when you look at the wrestling industry, it's being on the road and stuff, you have so much temptation and things like that. How many times have you been close to kind of relapsing or has it all been kind of, once you made that decision, you stuck to it?
It's one of those things where it's like once I made a decision, I stuck to it. But the temptation is always there, especially when you're new into a company like Ring of Honor and you want to get in with like the boys and you want to show them like, hey, man, like I'm a cool dude and stuff like that. And some of the boys like to, after matches, they like to get together and hang out and it's one of those things where it's like the temptation's there. But I know that like all the hard work that I've done to get me where I am today, if that's what I have to do to get in with you to say, hey, I'm a nice guy, that's not the kind of people I kind of want to be around. And honestly, Ring of Honor is not like that in any way, shape, and form. The guys have welcomed me with open arms. Like the locker room is absolutely fantastic. I couldn't ask for a better group of guys to be in a locker room with. I really can't. I would give my shirt off my back for any of them. I really would.
Who kind of has helped you kind of ease into the transition of working with the company? I know you haven't had your full experience with Ring of Honor just yet, but as far as maybe conversations offline, whether it's phone calls or text messages or Zoom calls.
I don't know if I should name names,
Okay.
But there's been a lot of people at Ring of Honor that has welcomed me 100% nunfold that I've been. Josh Woods. I'll name one name. Josh Woods is one of the most welcoming human beings there is, and we're always texting back and forth. And one of those guys who helped me, get my foot in the door. Another one that we haven't seen in a while, and I don't know where he is, and he's not returning my text messages any way, shape, or form. I mean, hopefully he's okay after the attack from Vinny, but Matt Taven,
Yeah,
you
Matt.
know, was one of those guys who, when I moved to Baltimore, I'm now currently living back in California now. When I moved to Baltimore and became part of the Ring of Honor dojo, he helped me get in with Northeast Wrestling, and being able to make my name there more in the Northeast area, you know. So, yeah, hopefully he's okay. I don't know why he hasn't returned any of my text messages or anything like that, man. So hopefully Matt's okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll see in the next couple weeks, hopefully. As it relates to your podcast, I think what's interesting is just a couple of years ago, you actually linked up with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Correct.
So tell me what that experience was like, and kind of what you got out of it, and kind of how maybe you remember it even years after, especially now that you're kind of getting your biggest opportunity to date in wrestling.
Stone Cold, man, helped me tremendously. He kind of helped me launch me into like that next, like, I guess indie darling bracket would be like the best way to put it. Me just being a California guy, you tried so hard to get your name out there, and like California is kind of like Texas, like we're kind of on our own little island because we're such a big state. You could drive 8 hours and you're still in California.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing as Texas. You could drive 8 hours and you're still in Texas. When you're up in like Northeast, you could drive 8 hours and you drive through like 4 or 5 states.
Yeah, I live in Florida. I know how that goes.
Yeah, it's kind of same thing with Florida, right? You
Right.
drive X mountain, like you can't get out, and that's just one of those things where it's just like being on a guy's podcast like Steve Austin. Number one, it came out of nowhere. I was traveling with a buddy. He was going on to be on the podcast. I was just happily to be in the right place at the right time. Started rapping with Steve, and he's like, "Hey, man, you got a story. Let's podcast you." And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." And releasing that, next thing you know, like within, I want to say 24 hours, my inbox was full with people wanting me to come and wrestle for them out of state. Got my first out of state flight was like to Texas. And then that kind of helped me launch me into like different brackets. Next thing you know, I'm like in Washington one night, New Orleans the next night, and so the other night, and then flying back and still trying to maintain my home life.
Mm-hmm.
It was great when I got the opportunity to get the tryout with Ring of Honor, because I texted Steve. I just talked to him on Saturday. Like I still am in contact with Steve. He's like, I was like, "Yo, do you have any advice going into the tryout?" And he's like, "Go be you. That's it. Be you. Don't go and be a version you think that they want to see. Don't go and do stuff that you want to do normally. Go be you and you'll be fine." And when I signed my official deal, I sent him a video of it, and hell yeah, kid, congrats, was just like, yeah, that was really, really cool, So, and I've talked to him about coming on my Coffee with Sledge, and
pay it forward, Steve. Come on.
We're working. You never know. He might show up. You never know. Like we're working on. I have a lot of big guests coming on, which I'm very, very humbled that have been wanting to do it. So
yeah, and I saw you're getting sponsorships, things like that. So that's awesome.
Yeah, AC Slade from band Dope. Dope, Murder Dolls, played bass in Joan Jett, and also played with the Misfits. Got wind of the show. I don't ask me how. Next thing you know, he's in my email. And now he's like, "Hey, man, I want to sponsor the show." And I was like, "Yeah, let's do that." And then he was just on, I think he was just on Monday. Great time. We gave some stuff away. And he is just one of the official sponsors. Mad Cat Beard Oil was another one. Came out of nowhere. Loved the show. Wanted to sponsor the show. So now we're officially coming out with a coffee. I was going to ask
about that. Where's the coffee we need?
We just did a deal. I just did a deal with Mad Cat. So we're doing the Coffee with Sledge Beard Oil. And it's gonna have a little bit of coffee smell to it.
Does ROH Shop have Sledge Coffee with Sledge mugs yet? Or
not yet? I haven't actually talked to them about merchandise.
Okay.
Because I'm still fairly new to the company. I think once once the first of the year comes around, then we'll start
So
talking
many
about
ideas, so
merchandise.
many, yeah.
Yeah, we'll start shooting a couple ideas that way. So, but we have talked about doing, Coffee with Sledge merchandise, coffee cups, so on and so forth. It's just one of the things where it's just like it takes money to make money.
I gotta ask, how does Sledge like his coffee?
Black, a little bit of ice.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
Lastly, just you're getting ready to get in full swing here. They've kind of set up a good program as far as to get back in place and start programming again, which is great. What are some of your initial goals that you have once you step in a Ring of Honor ring again?
Um, there's not a guy on that roster that doesn't have a target on his back. I'm gonna say that right now. And there's not a guy on that roster that I don't want to step in the ring with and go toe to toe, face to face and throw hands with. My initial goal is that TV title, and I know it's abroad right now, and that's okay. When the borders open, Dragon Elite, let's do it. After the TV title, what's next after the TV title? The world title, Roosh, coming for you as well. There's not a guy on that roster that doesn't have a target on their back. I'm looking to be the biggest thing in Ring of Honor since Kevin Steen and El Generico.
All right, you heard it here first. And for those that are interested in the podcast, it's at 3:00 Eastern time, and you have it. I can't believe you're going so many days a week. What is it? Monday? Is it Monday?
We
Wednesday,
do Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Friday. That's
yeah,
a lot.
We do at twitch.tv/Sledge805, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We don't miss a show. I try not to. Traveling last week was a little bit of a rough one because I was out in Baltimore doing things. But yeah, we do. We have Zach Ass coming on Monday. I don't know when does this air?
When this airs, I'm not sure actually when they're gonna actually have this on, but
okay. We have a great number of people coming on.
Yeah,
anywhere
no
from
matter
motivational speakers, Ring of Honor superstars, other people.
wide range.
Wide range. There we go.
I love it. Yeah, because everyone has their own story and everyone can relate to these stories, which is great. And so everyone, you don't have to be a wrestling fan to relate to your story. So I think that's what's amazing about it.
And just
also.
follow me on all my social medias. That's Sledge805. Keep it easy.
Keep it easy across the board. That's one good rule about social media. Just make it easy for people to find, and you're all set.
Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok,
TikTok,
Instagram.
okay.
Yeah, I'm on TikTok. Yep, at Sledge805. It was one of those things that I fought forever. I didn't want to do it. I fought forever, and it was a simple text from the office saying, "Hey, get on TikTok," and I was like, "Okay." And before we leave, or I don't know if we're wrapping up right now or not, but thank you to Ring of Honor, and thank you to Sinclair for taking care of all of us Ring of Honor superstars and all of their staff during this whole pandemic. And we're gonna come back bigger and better than ever. Trust me on that.
So you were in the bubble then when you mentioned being in Baltimore. All right. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll leave it at that.
Okay. So thanks so much, Sledge, for your time. I really appreciate it. And you have such a great story. And I know a lot of people are going to become a fan of yours if they aren't already from watching it and then finding out about you.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for your time. And I look forward to getting in there and kicking somebody in the face very, very soon.